What's going on, guys? Gokuzemi here. I'm here with my boy Deis, and he won a side event at YCS Raleigh this past weekend. What were you on, my friend?
I was running Centurion, my brother.
Nice. Let's get into it.
Alrighty, let's break it down for you. We're running 3 Centurion Primera. She's your level 4 generic starter. She's the good girl you always want to see going first or second. She has a wonderful effect that when you normal summon her or special summon, you can add a Centurion card from deck to hand. Monster, trap, spell, very generic, gotta love her.
Nice.
And when she has another funny gimmick for this deck is all their monsters, their main decks can be set in the spell and trap card zone as continuous traps, which we'll get more into later on, but very wicked effects. She's also a tuner, so if you haven't guessed yet, this deck relies heavily on the synchro mechanic, so let's get ready to rev it up. Next, I'm playing 3 Centurion Trudea. She's a really good girl as well. She has the couple of effects where if she is a continuous trap, she can special summon herself both during your turn or your opponent's turn. Also, she can make herself a level 8, which makes this deck big synchro. Her final effect is during the main phase, if she's a monster, she can set herself in the spell and trap card zone as a continuous trap and set another monster, Centurion, from your deck in the face-up spell and trap card zone as a continuous trap. So if you haven't caught on, this deck really doesn't mind an Ash Blossom because we don't really add that much, maybe once. Next, our big beefy boy Emmett. We play 2 of because 2 is okay. Seeing 1 is good, but seeing more than that's too many. He's a continuous trap boy as well. He can set him off the effects of other monsters in the spell and trap card zone as a continuous trap. He can special summon himself, and he's got a fun effect where during your opponent's turn, you can take one of your Centurion monsters that's on the field, put it in the spell and trap card zone, and special summon himself out from the hand or graveyard. At least,
Nice.
Yeah.
And you don't play 3 of them because A, he's a brick, but B, it's because he's like level 6 or higher, so you'd have to tribute summon him?
Yeah. It's basically, a lot of this deck can pitch cards from hand, so worst case scenario, if you end up running 2 of them, you can always get 1 out and then recycle, and there's plenty of ways to get him back from either graveyard or banishment.
Okay.
Now we're going to start with some spells. I know small monster count, but this main deck is really focused on gas, so we're just looking at our field spell, Centurion Stand Up. Now Stand Up has a wonderful series of effects such as anytime a monster is special summoned, whether it be during your turn or your opponent's turn, you can quick effect synchro summon. So just when you want to interrupt your opponent with the right play, you have that access to. On activation, you can pitch a card from your hand, set a Centurion monster from deck in the spell and trap card zone as continuous trap. And as long as you control a Centurion card, it cannot be destroyed. So if you have one of your monsters, say, in your spell and trap card zone, it's still considered a monster initially, so they're going to have to harpies you twice.
Nice.
Yeah. Now, next we're going to go into one of the cards I think is probably the most broken in the deck as far as consistency goes. A good old copy of Emblema Oatset. Now, this is a beautiful card. As you can see, it's quick play, so you can do it during the draw phase, but you can either, for effect 1, you can set any Centurion monster from your deck in the spell and trap card zone as continuous face-up spell or trap, but it's trap, my apologies. Or you can set any Centurion spell or trap from your deck straight up, so you don't have to search with it. It's just setting. They can't ash it.
That's very, very strong.
Yes, hand traps in this format are a big hindrance. I play 3 of these just for the fact that you gotta love the consistency. That way you can fight through hand traps. Now, we're playing our boy 2 Bonds. Bonds have a wonderful effect where you can take a Centurion card from either your hand or your graveyard and set it in your spell and trap card zone as a continuous trap. So any of those bricky monsters, say you go into 2 Emmett, you have a way to get it out of your hand on the field, ready to do its job. Now, it's also quick play, so draw phase, you can do some fancy stuff, and it has another effect where if you synchro summon a Centurion monster, you can banish it, take a card from your graveyard, monster, Centurion, and reset it in the spell and trap card zone. So like I stated earlier, there are always ways to get stuff from graveyard back. This is one of the new hits from the new set. Go out and grab one. Wake Up Centurion, you basically get to declare a level either 4 or 8 and special summon a Centurion token. It's really easy if your opponent has kind of Ghost Ogre your back row or gotten rid of your trap monsters. This basically lets you keep playing through. And I'm playing 1 right now just to test the waters. I may bump it up to 2, may keep it at 1. Only time will tell. Now, for this next set is unfriendly to budget players, but Sometimes the luck can be good. We got 3 bonfires, and you may be asking yourself, well, all I saw was a bunch of light monsters. Well, Trudea, your second monster, is a pyro, and she's a nice add. In case you run into a couple of hand trap blocks, you have some ways out.
Nice, and that's one of your only ways you like actually search in this deck.
As far as searching goes, the only 2 ways we search that we've covered is through Bonfire or Primera. Nothing else searches yet. And
Cool.
I say yet because we play the one-off, the flex spot, the big terraforming. So the discard cost for stand-up can be literally another copy of itself. So don't be scared if you draw 2 stand-up, you're just pitching it. This deck has a really good way of recovery, so you're not that scared if your hand starts to get a little thin. We have options. Of course, I play the one-off, the called by, and the other one, just because it makes me feel comfortable, the cross-out. During this format, hand traps run rampant, so I want something that'll hurt my opponent, whether it be hand traps or maybe essentially graveyard-heavy combo pieces, or the cross-out just in case they try to use something against me I play. And to those of you keeping watch and counting at home, we only play 8 main deck monsters that are archetype exclusive. So pretty thin on the monsters, but don't worry, we'll keep showing you what's up. Next, I play Centurion Phalanx. It's a funny little trap. It banishes a monster on the field till the next standby phase, so if there's something a little troubling on the field, it will get rid of it for you. Now, it has another effect where, I didn't use it this much, but I could target 1 Centurion monster in your graveyard, special summon it, but it loses 1500 attack. That's a good one that we can get into a little bit later with some of the mathematics on some of the other monsters. Now, a card that has saved my butt numerous times, I always play the one-off, the Centurion True Awakening. It's an Omni Negate that for the cost of 1 of your Centurion trap monsters, Omni negates anything your opponent does. It's quick effect, counter trap, you're good. If you open this, and you will usually, if you do your plays right, be left with 1 monster and your spell and trap card zone is a trap, you're going to be looking pretty if you can have this. Now we're getting to another flex spot, the Harpies, just because back row decks hate us, let's hate them right back. And since this deck is easily interruptible but not killable for the most part, let's go triple tax into main, just because if you're going to try and hit me with some stuff, I want to be able to recover or, quite frankly, possibly hit you back in the hand. Next up, we're going to go the generic girls. Triple Ash Blossom for some good reasons. This format's very hand trap heavy. Honestly, I wouldn't be caught dead without some hand traps this format.
Nice, nice.
Now we're going to go through some more questionable stuff. I played double nib in the main. Now you must be wondering, Dice, why are you playing double nib? Well, let me tell you, the field spell can pitch anything. So say you're going first, say game 2 or 3, and you realize your opponent doesn't summon that much. Well, it's either a good side out target or just a good pitchable target. As long as we're throwing something to graveyard for the field spell, it's always going to be a good day. Now, we're going to get to double Veiler. Let's keep hating on monsters. Hand traps galore. This deck is really consistent with the amount of searching we do, so we can play a butt ton of hand traps and it won't really impact us that much. So, not bad, not bad. And finally, for the format, another flex spot, triple Droll, because a lot of combo heavy decks this format like to be able to add. I say let's hit them early. First time they add will be their last time, as long as they don't have the out.
God forbid they have the out.
I mean, sometimes you can have the best deck in the world and somebody can just be good enough to just draw your out. And the last flex spot, triple Imperm.
Speaking of the out.
I mean, this is one of the, I would rather I see this over the Veilers every day, because this is one of the few hand traps in your deck that does not turn on triple tack. So, good day. Alrighty, now let's get to the extra deck. It's a little bit unorganized and I'm still messing around with some of the stuff, but we're gonna have a fun time. Some of them I'm moving around, some of them I'm messing around with. So a little bit, we're gonna go double Legadia. This girl is a total house. She is a brick house. First off, level 12, which obviously if you can count, we have an easy time going into. 3,500 body. Beautiful. Now she has a couple of base effects, like any monster under 2,000 or less attack on the field cannot be killed by battle. So she's a good body beater off the back. Now, on summon, special summon, mind you, so even if you monster reborn this, any way you can get this thing out will trigger these next coming effects. First off, destroy non-targeting the highest attack monster on the field. That's beautiful. Everything is either target resistant or can plus off that, but let's throw some non-targeting in there. Secondly, when summoned in conjunction with destruction, you just draw a card. That's why we don't really shy away that much from giving up hand advantage, because we can recycle it right back. And now, its biggest flex during the end phase, you can set any Centurion monster that's in your graveyard in your spell and trap card zone as a continuous trap, so you get back the Primera if you need, the Trudea, the Emmet. This girl is a house, and she will be respected as such. Now, we're going with the new girl. Fresh from the new set, Auxilla. Her effect states, well, her passive is that your opponent cannot destroy your spell and trap cards while you control this monster. So already, you're back row proof. They ain't hitting anything, they ain't touching anything. Next, you can add any Centurion card, meaning spell, trap, or monster from deck to hand. Beautiful. So you don't get the generic draw, but you get to be a little bit more precise with what you're adding. Finally, just like her sister, Legadia, what she can do is slightly better. She can take a monster that's either from graveyard or banished and reset it. So everyone knows that one sibling that's a little bit more successful than them. Now we're going to get to the fun stuff. Crimson Dragon. For the low cost of a 12 synchro, which you can make during your opponent's turn, you can quick effect synchro and make a plethora of other monsters. That's the only reason I use this. Any other effect, it could literally have the other effect win the duel, and I wouldn't necessarily know it. Well, the targets we have, the bane of everybody's existence if they don't have the out, King Calamity, literally a walking floodgate on wheels, and anytime you destroy a monster by battle, inflict the difference to him. He's just the Jack Atlas card we play because battle power. Who needs a turn 3 if you can OTK?
Yeah, for real.
And next, the other Cosmic Blazar, the other Crimson Dragon. I mean, if you like negates, you can have a once per turn negate on wheels that comes back during the end phase. So
He's also 4,000, right?
oh yeah, all these monsters are big, big, big. So if any of you guys out there are having trouble running over some thick monsters, well, we got the steamroller for you. Now, here's going to be some odd tech choices, but super heavy samurai, brave.
Masawaru.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not really good at pronouncing these names, but Masawaru. Now, he's a really good one because he's my out to Baguska lock in the sense that you special summon him in defense, he can attack while in defense, and another big 4,000 booty is nice. Also, if your opponent activates any spell or trap cards in the back row, you draw until you have 3 cards in hand. And to those that are still concerned with hand looping and resource management, he's a really good loan. Now, another thick 12, Despian Lulu Wraith. She's got some really big booty on her, and she's got some really nice effects. Honestly, she's a generic level 12, and let's go over some things. Once per turn, if a card leaves the extra deck during this damage step, or during damage step, blah, I can't read right now, sorry, but
If something leaves the extra deck and negates.
she does stuff, yes, and she can make
pretty
your
good.
monsters gain permanently 500 attack. But she's another 12 because generically good 12s are hard to come by. So I'd recommend picking her up. Now, another Crimson Dragon target, Red Supernova Dragon. You like clearing the field, I like banishing it all. We're two different people. Red Supernova Dragon's also a fat booty, so honestly, we love fat booties here. And finally, our new honorary, Centurion. He's basically our version of Flamebirch in the sense that instead of making a monster become a continuous spell like Flamebirch can, he makes any monster for the cost of a discard become a continuous trap, and you can target ones in the graveyard or on field. So I could be getting this wrong, but I haven't had a chance to go into him yet. I still
That's
do the
pretty much the gist of it, yeah.
yeah, I do the bread and butter combo. If your opponent's not calling out by Legatia Crimson, then you go into the big stuff. Now, I know you're going to be thinking this next is blasphemy, but we're playing some Xyz monsters, some generic flex spots. We love level 8s. Let's make level 8s. So everyone knows the Zeus line. knock him up, give him 2 materials, wipe everything. Typhon, he's a main man too. In case your opponent just hand traps you into hell and you absolutely have no way out, nothing says one last ditch effort like a Typhon. Now we are playing the level 8, so we can run the Galaxy, Photon Lord, and the Hope Harbinger. Really good monsters. I tend not to go into them, so if you want to throw some more synchros in there, by all means, these would be the flex spots. I'm currently experimenting right now in terms of pure versus a hybrid variant. I'm also looking into building the Horus Centurion package, which I heard is bloody horrible, but you know, we love jank here. Next, the last and only link, SP, because why not? Because if you can make her, God forbid your opponent debears you,
Might as well.
Yeah.
All right, so thank you guys for watching. This has been my boy Joshua Deis. You want to give any shout outs to anyone?
First off, give a shout out to the game store, the most with the host, Easy Gaming over here in Greensboro. Gotta love them. Next, the best YouTube channel up and coming ever, and probably the best ever, Go Zemecki, my boy. Keep grinding, keep shining.
Yeah, that's one way to pronounce it.
If you get it, my apologies, I'm a little tired right now.
No, you're good, you're good. I just thought it was funny.
Give this video likes, give us some subscribes, and what would you say a good milestone for this video is?
Like 20 likes.
Give it 20 likes, and I'll reveal the spicy side deck.
All right. Well, thank you so much for giving us this deck profile. It was great talking to you, Dice. And I'll see you guys in the next one.
Appreciate
Peace.
it. Peace.